You just have to be careful and skilled, counsel.
Oh, I think I'm careful and I think I'm skilled.
So I'm gonna strike the repulsive part.
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
Can I get my notes?
Are there pages and pages?
There's 3 pages, Judge.
Mr. Yannetti, I don't need to hear 3 pages of argument. So I didn't want to interrupt you and embarrass you. You don't put anything up on that screen without my permission. And Mr. Yannetti?
Yes, Your Honor?
I expect better from you than that.
Jurors,
feel free to stand up and stretch. You need to come closer. You ask me for permission to put something on the screen.
Objection. Can we go to sidebar?
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
It's time for a sidebar. Welcome to television's newest game show. It's time for a sidebar.
Starring Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, Adam Lally, and your favorite judge, me.
we are getting to a point, Your Honor, where we can't ask anything. We are being hamstrung because Mr. Lally has got to come up with, I'll say, what color is the sky? And he's going to say, well, he said blue. He felt blue in years past because he's been harassed. It's such a square peg in a round hole. We are getting to the point that we can't defend this case without fear.
You just have to be careful and skilled, counsel.
Oh, I think I'm careful and I think I'm skilled.
We are back and analyzing these sidebar transcripts, and the beautiful and intelligent Corey Hopkins is playing both David Yannetti and Alan Jackson, and Emily's playing David Lally. Let's watch.
I didn't come anywhere close to opening the door, Your Honor.
Well, unfortunately, I believe you did. So I'm going to give him a little leeway on this. Oh, Mr. Lally's getting ballsy, starting again. I'm sorry. This is just selfishly on my own part. I was just looking at the time, and I don't know. I'm not going to finish with him, and this might be the easiest place for me to pick up tomorrow with this witness. I can keep going if the court wants.
Okay, I'll be Yannetti. I'm completely fine with that.
I was trying to figure out whether you were going to start with 7 minutes. I didn't know if we had any more. Would you have started with 7 minutes left?
No. Yesterday, I should have come to sidebar to say we end early. It was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, no, I'm fine with that.
I don't have a problem with it. Okay.
During a trial, attorneys generally want to end on a strategic note. They don't want to end in the middle of someone's testimony, or they want to end on something that's very critical that will stick with the juror's mind. Either way, the court loves when you end early.
Any surprises tomorrow? I mean, evidentiary issues? I'm going to let the jury go.
That's fine.
So Lally was literally like, I'm bored. Can we go home now? Hold on. We're back on the record.
I just mentioned to Mr. Lally, he's been kind enough to give us advance notice of the witnesses he has lined up for the next day. And tomorrow, after Matt McCabe, we've got Jen McCabe, Carrie Roberts, and then 2 witnesses that I think are going to be fairly brief.
So are we all set for tomorrow?
Another strategy attorneys use is not disclosing whom they're going to call, or if at all. You have to submit an actual list of all the witnesses you may call, but that doesn't mean you actually have to call them. The strategy behind not telling your opponent whom you're going to call is perhaps they're not going to be prepared for the witness you actually do call.
Jackson, just for prep purposes, do you have any idea?
You need to come closer.
Just for prep purposes, because I'd like to use the afternoon wisely, do you have any idea who you might have on Tuesday?
That is pure experienced attorney tactic by the beautiful Alan Jackson. He's asking Lally about whether the witness will be on the stand in front of the court and acting as if he's trying to use his time wisely. What he really wants to know is which witness will be called next and how long you're going to be with the current witness.
I would love to know too, but I'm not asking Mr. Lally that. If he wants to tell you that, that's fine.
But the old Judge Auntie Bev ain't falling for it. She knows that she doesn't have to make either party disclose which witnesses they're going to call.
Okay, we can talk about it offline.
Whereupon the court adjourned at 12:55 p.m.
All right, Yannetti, I guess I'll hear the objection first. See, this is another example of they go to sidebar and he's like, I don't even know what Lally's gonna say the problem is.
The sexy David Yannetti is 100% right. Auntie Bev would allow the parties to say objection, but not give the actual reason. The proper way to do it is to say objection and then only give the basis for your objection, not a speaking objection. Auntie Bev would allow them to say objection, and then she would make her ruling.
Go ahead with your objection. I don't see how any of this is relevant, number one. Number two, as far as it was already testified as to what it is, I don't understand why these need to be put in. So this is the report where Good filled out his report with a picture from the scene where there's no taillight because there was no taillight on the scene when he got there because it was the morning.
This sidebar relates to a police report written by Officer Good. Initially, they found no taillight, and there should have been no taillight mentioned in the report. However, when we get the report, they mention the taillight that was found later on in the day, which obviously is a huge deal because we know that Chief Berkowitz was able to plant that taillight before the dopey Massachusetts State Police officers were able to actually search the property.
And then they updated the report with a picture of taillight, just like for funsies.
This is going to be helpful to the jury. What I'd like to do, and Your Honor, with regard to police reports, Your Honor is 100% correct. Typically, you don't admit somebody's police report with the narrative and all of the hearsay that it contains.
Police reports generally are not admissible as evidence at a trial because they contain within them written statements made by an officer. Technically, that is hearsay. Hearsay meaning a statement that is being made, but by someone other than the person actually being in court.
That's not what I'm looking to do here. And in fact, if the court only wanted to admit the top half of both of these forms, that would also be fine.
Also, the no crime involved, there is a lot of hearsay. So what you want is the pictures, Mr. Yannetti, right? That they're separate pictures.
But I think it's far more powerful if the jury sees that the information is identical. And in fact, we can redact the, quote, no crime involved.
That's very interesting. The police report initially had the statement, no crime involved.
Language. I don't need that. The other stuff is just, I'm not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted. I'm offering it to show that it matches and what I think it doesn't match. That's why it's relevant.
But he said he didn't know why this had 10.
No, he actually said he did. That's the print date.
Well, you said the print date, and he said, I guess. Printed by whom? The police station or you guys?
No, not by us. This is a police document.
Because there was reference to taillight in the actual report, there was an issue as to when the actual report was written, when it was printed. Really, it was just an excuse. It seems as if the cops were intentionally putting reference to the taillight in the initial police report, even though we know the cops that originally searched 34 Fairview never found any taillight.
So you just want these photos in to show that they are different?
Yes, but I want to show that they are part of the police report. They are part of an identical police report. I mean, the fact that there's the police logo and it looks all official.
All right, so I will let it in, but I'm not going to allow you to publish anything on the screen because if this is indecipherable, I will let you put in the top part after these are, but no crime involved, because that would be hearsay.
Right, yes.
So I'll let you put in the top third of each of these reports in, and later see if we can expand upon them.
Let me ask you this. Can we black out the no crime involved now with the magic marker? And can I just show that what the court has in your hand right there on a split screen?
No, because I haven't yet seen the altered version of this. And again, the jury gets the evidence right here. The jury doesn't get, I don't know, have you seen what this is? Yes.
I believe you may have it on your desk right now, but I gave the actual exhibit.
I don't know.
I thought I saw it.
Do you have the actual exhibit? Jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch. While Miss Little is getting that, we need to still talk about Sergeant Lank.
Michael Lank, L-A-N-K. I'm a lieutenant with the Canton Police.
And what exactly you intend to put in so that I can rule on exactly what I think.
Of course.
Okay, so now the Commonwealth calls Michael Lank and immediately sidebar.
Can we go to sidebar?
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
It's time for a sidebar.
Starring Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, Adam Lally, and your favorite judge, me.
So we still need to deal with this. I assumed you'd want to know before you did your direct.
Officer Lank was among the first few Canton police officers that were at the scene at 34 Fairview.
Yes. You were saying before you had the other officer available yesterday to go. Can you call him, or do I have to give this jury another break? And Mr. Yannetti?
Yes, Your Honor?
I expect better from you than that.
I think that is admissible, Your Honor.
I know you might, but it's not.
Okay.
Especially, we haven't had this conversation yet today about what I was admitting regarding that incident.
Judge Beverly definitely played Alan Jackson against David Yannetti. Whenever she really wanted to attack Alan Jackson, she would go to David Yannetti and say, "You should know better. You're a Massachusetts state licensed attorney."
So I'm just telling you that. Do you want to call the other witness, or do you want me to give the jury another break? Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Jackson, do you want to tell me exactly, do you want to do this now, here, while the jury is waiting?
Sure.
Let me just grab I'm going to send the jurors out for 5 minutes.
I just wanted to let the court know that we anticipate going into the relationship right off the bat. So if there's an instruction that the court...
With the whole incident right off the bat?
The incident they're referring to is when Officer Lank was involved in an altercation between one of the Albert family members and another crew of guys many years ago.
That out of the way.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to briefly let you know, so you don't become impatient, I'm going to play about 5 minutes of this and stop it at certain points. About 4 different points in the 5.5 minutes in total.
Okay, just don't narrate it.
I won't.
Okay. What is the objection, Mr. Lally? It calls for speculation.
This goes directly to something... I'm not asking him to speculate. I'm asking him what his state of mind at the time was.
You have to ask it differently. You were asking him to speculate. Ask it differently.
Okay, yeah.
Objection. Can we go to sidebar?
Get your asses up here for a sidebar.
So I didn't want to interrupt you and embarrass you. You don't put anything up on that screen without my permission. You did it 5 times. Let's go to tab 1. Let's go to tab 2.
I thought if it was in evidence that we were free to...
You don't just freely walk about the courtroom and put up displays.
Where would you like me?
Mr. Yannetti should have told you that.
How would you like me to... What is the proper protocol to ask? I'm so uncomfortable.
The issue here is that Alan Jackson was playing videos without actually getting the court's permission to play it. In theory, if you play that video without the court's permission or multiple times, it could be deemed as being argumentative and not proper.
You ask me for permission to put something on the screen.
Okay.
Mr. Yannetti, you have a role with the pro hoc vice to let them know.
I understand.
Pro hoc vice is some lame Latin term, but it allows attorneys that are not registered in this state to practice in the state on a temporary basis, but you need to have a licensed attorney actually get you admitted for this temporary basis. As such, David Yannetti was able to get Alan Jackson to be an attorney in the state of Massachusetts without Alan actually having to pass the Massachusetts State Bar and being admitted to practice.
All right, the jury needs a break.
I've got about, just so the court knows.
Jurors, go ahead and take a 10-minute break, okay?
Just so the court knows, I've maybe 10 minutes left, no longer.
And yours will be very short? Yes. All right. I'd really like to not bring him back again tomorrow. No.
Yannetti, I was going to suggest, Your Honor, I would really like the court to rule on the photos I brought up at the start of the day yesterday, because I think there is a chance Caitlin Albert could be called tomorrow.
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
The court reporter, I can't hear.
I just said that I was hoping for a ruling on the photos I had brought up at the start of the day yesterday. I do have further oral argument to make outside the presence of the jury.
Why don't you make that right now?
Can I get my notes?
Are there pages and pages, or is this...
There's 3 pages, Judge.
Mr. Yannetti, I don't need to hear 3 pages of argument.
Here's the thing, all right? Let me just try to encapsulate it. I thought it would be appropriate to discuss what orders have been in place regarding reciprocal discovery. This court is free to make any orders it wants at any time. I recognize that. But I wanted to explain the reason why we didn't reveal the photos that were previously marked HIJK.
What do you say?
Reciprocal discovery means that if one party obtains information or documents, they must produce it to the other side. Apparently, that didn't occur with regard to these exhibits.
Your Honor, what I would say is there absolutely has been a discovery violation. The Commonwealth filed a motion for reciprocal discovery, which the court, I don't know if it was acted on as far as writing on the order, but it is specifically stated to counsel to provide those. The subsequent do absolutely nothing to further any point as far as firefighter McLaughlin. And I remind counsel that it is a firefighter, and that is how she is involved in this case. And
the issue they're discussing is photos with regard to a firefighter that appeared at the scene and her relationship with Caitlin Albert.
Comes to the scene in the first place. There is no evidence of that in those photographs. The other photographs or anything about her testimony, and frankly, it's repulsive. All right, so I'm going to strike the repulsive part. All right, so I did find that there was a violation of Rule 14. I know that counsel said that you didn't intend to use it, but I disagree, and I find you did. So I will mark all of these for identification. And I made an independent finding that they are cumulative, that Mr. Jackson got the answers he was looking for, and that the photos are not inconsistent. For all of those reasons, the photos from the other day are out, and these are out.
Judge Bev ruled that not only did they violate her order for reciprocal discovery, meaning the defense didn't turn over these pictures quick enough, but that they were also repetitive and not needed. Therefore, they're not going to be admitted as evidence.
Specifically with regard to these...
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
All right. What's your question, Mr. Yannetti?
Is the court ruling that they're excluded in part because they too are a discovery violation?
I don't know where they came from or who authenticates them. Did you get these, Commonwealth? Like, she needs to authenticate these pictures of Katie McLaughlin, like, drinking in a hot tub, but doesn't need to authenticate the screenshot of Colin Albert's phone. I mean, when the court did, I don't hear anything right now that would make these admissible. You need to question the witness first. I don't have your discovery motion in front of me, Mr. Lally. Did it include impeachment material?
I can speak to that because I reviewed it. It did. If that motion was allowed, then my reading of the motion is that these, not these, but the previous 4 photographs should have been turned over.
Why don't we just continue? If you come up with another argument before the witness testifies, you can tell me about it.
Okay, thank you.
I really don't want to waste any more time.
I understand.
What an amazing job by the beautiful and sexy David Yannetti and Alan Jackson, and a decent job by Emily C. The issue here is now we are getting to view very intricate details that take place outside the jury and outside the cameras while we're watching the trial. And it paints a completely different picture with regard to whether Auntie Bev was biased towards one party or another. She comes down hard on both of them when she has the opportunity, but clearly she's favoring the beautiful and sexy David Yannetti when they're all there together. The beautiful, sexy, and intelligent Corey Hopkins and Emily are going to continue the reading of these actual transcripts from the sidebars later today, and we'll put a link down below with regard to that video. But either way, we are not going to stop producing these videos until the real killer,
Brian Higgins,
is brought to justice. This crime was very simple to solve because it took place within a very small area over a very short period of time with a very limited amount of suspects. One or more of these 10 people has to be the killer of John O'Keefe. That's how easy this is. Once you remove the kids and the McCabe's, you're down to just 3 suspects: Brian Albert, Higgy Bear, and Chloe. Since Chloe's a good dog, she didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
I'm a good dog. I didn't do it.
So that leaves just 2 suspects, Brian Albert and Higgy Bear. But of the 2 Brians, only one had the means, motive, and opportunity to kill John O'Keefe. And that's our old cuddly but violent Higgy Bear. Once we had all the facts and didn't jump to conclusions, do you see how easy it was to solve this crime?
I got an idea.
I never heard of any broad name Karen Reed.
The bigger the cocks, the harder it falls.